Hi boys and girls, today we're going to talk about parts of a plant. I want you to pay specific attention to the parts as we go over them and their job. Each part of the plant is there for a reason and each has a job to do. So listen as we find out the parts of a plant. This is another page where we hold our book sideways. Let me show you the whole picture. So as you can see, this is a gigantic tree. So we're going to look at the top part. Our title is Roots, Stems, and Leaves. How do you survive and grow? You use your body parts to get what you need. Plants must get what they need too. Read the captions to see how roots, stems, and leaves help this tree survive and grow. So the body parts of a tree that we're going to talk about today are roots, stems, and leaves. They're the main body parts that help the tree survive, or even another plant. All plants have roots, stems, and leaves. And that's what helps them survive or stay alive. So I want you to pay attention to the parts as we go over them and what each part does for the plant. So we're going to start at the bottom down here with the roots. So these big things right here are roots. They're going into the ground. And believe it or not, in other plants, like just a plain old flower, you might not even see the roots because they go directly into the ground. And they are what helps the plant take in water. So the main job of the root is to take in water. Roots help hold the plant in place too. Water moves from the roots up to the leaves. So these big roots, they're in the ground, and what happens is when it rains, the water collects in the ground, and the roots take the water from the ground, deliver it up through the stem and to the leaves. So that's how the plant gets water or takes a drink, is by the roots taking the water from the ground. Now, the roots also have another job. Their job is to hold the plant in place. If these roots were not there, when the wind blew, the whole tree would just fall over. The roots help hold it into the ground. Believe it or not, these roots grow deep into the soil and they are like gripping into the ground. So when the wind blows or somebody knocks into it, it doesn't fall over. So the roots have two jobs: take in water from the ground, and they hold the plant in place. Next, we're going to look at the stem. So this is the stem of the tree. Sometimes we call these branches as well. The stem is usually the main point of the plant that comes directly from the roots. So we have the roots and then we go to the stem. These branches also act like stems as well. So the stem holds the plant upright. Stems hold up the leaves too. Water and food move from the stem. The stem of a tree is called the trunk. So in a tree, we call this the trunk of a tree usually. In a plain old plant, like a flower or bush, a lot of times we'll call this the stem. Okay, the stem is what holds it upright. So you need something to keep the plant, to support the rest of the plant, such as the leaves, or if we had a flower, it would hold the flower up. It holds them up, and it also is like a gigantic straw. So the water goes from the roots, right? It gets the water from the ground into the roots, and the roots bring it to the stem. And the stem acts like a gigantic straw and pulls the liquid all the way up to the leaves. Okay, the stem allows the water to travel all the way up to the leaves. All right, so now let's look at the leaves. All right, here's the leaves of the tree. Green plants use water, air, and light to make food in their leaves. Food moves from leaves down to the roots. All right, so we had the roots down here. They brought liquid to the stem, and then the stem takes the liquid all the way up to the leaves. Now, the leaves have a very important job to do. The leaves are what makes food for a plant. So remember, plants are living things. They need food just like we do. So the leaves are going to take in air, and they're going to take the water that came from the roots and the stem, and it's going to use the sunlight as well to make its food. Okay, once it makes food in the leaf, it has to take it and then travel all the way back through the plant to the other parts. Okay, just like when we eat, we take in the food, goes in our mouth, down into our stomach, and then it travels throughout our body and provides nourishment for our whole body. The leaves are doing the same thing. The leaves are making its own food inside the leaf, and then it's allowing that food and nutrients to travel down through the whole entire tree. So let's just do a quick wrap up again. So we have our roots down here, which are taking in water from the ground. Okay, it gives the water to the stem, and the stem is acting like a straw, and it's going to bring the water all the way up to the leaves. Okay, and then the leaves have an important job to do because they're going to make the food. All right, so those are our main parts of a plant. And even though this was a picture of a tree, it's the same thing with any other type of plant.